your Uncle Howard, Greg Cosell here on the Rich Eisen Show. I do this job because of basically two guys, or I wanted to do it because of two guys, Marv Albert and Howard Cosell. When did you realize your uncle was who he was? Do you remember that?
Wow. You know what? Because we didn't grow up close to one another,
Okay.
our families.
Okay.
So I didn't see him very often at all when I was young.
Okay.
So, I mean, that's a hard question to answer. I kind of knew that. Let's see, I was born in 56.
Okay.
And obviously Howard became big in the 60s. He really hit the big time nationally with Muhammad Ali. So I got a sense of that probably when I was 10, 11 or so.
Right.
And I remember being at camp. I went to Kutcher Sports Academy when I was, I think, 13, 14, around that age.
The old Catskills.
And I remember people starting to talk about it. And that's when I think I really took note that, hey, my uncle was an important guy.
Yeah. Again, I don't know how close you were, and I just love, obviously, though, talking about him. That said, what do you think he would think about these days with all of these shows, with everybody offering an opinion, where it's all about opinions and split
Right.
screens, and this person has that opinion and that person has that opinion. Somebody has a column somewhere and has an opinion, and it's all opinion based. And he was one of the first opinionated people to actually call games and offer opinions as a one would think a character trait. What do you think he would think about that, Greg?
Again, I think he'd probably have mixed feelings about it, because the one thing about my uncle, as you know, is he was a lawyer. He was number one. He was the editor of the Law Review at law school, so he was an incredibly smart, well-read guy. So I think for the people that really work hard at it, and we all know who works hard in the business and who doesn't, I think for those people he'd have great respect, and for the others who just throw out opinions, I don't think he'd have much time for.
Great way to put it.
Is that a good answer, Rick?
That's a great way to put it. Maybe a lot more diplomatic than your uncle would have put it. How about that?
Well, I was trying to be diplomatic, I mean, I'd like to still have a job after we get off the phone.
No. Hey, look, I remember reading his books talking about the jockocracy. He did not think that players should come off the field and be opinionated and have a microphone in front of them just because they played.
I remember being in his first book, because I went to Amherst College, where obviously they don't give athletic scholarships, and played sports there.
Right.
And I remember he used me as an example of what ultimately college sports should be about. Boy, that was a long time ago. Think about that.
I'll never forget. I met him once because, he was tight with Steinbrenner, right?
Oh, sure.
Okay. I met him once in the press box at Yankee Stadium, and, I went up to him and I just said hello to him and what he, meant to me, and he was nice. And then at one point he looked at my press credential and he goes, "What erstwhile publication do you work for?" And then he goes, "The Staten Island Advance." Come on, like that. And it was just one of my, I didn't know how to take it or not. He just, "What erstwhile publication do you work for?" is what he said. I'll never forget it to this day.
Well, you should speak to Howard Katz. He has a great story as well about the first time he met my uncle when he was starting out in the business.
Well, he goes way back to the Roone Arledge ABC Sports days, now the president of NFL Films, where you obviously know what it's all about. Greg, I appreciate the call. Truly do. If you don't mind, I'm going to keep calling you before the draft. I really enjoy the chats. It's been way too long. I greatly appreciate the time.
Oh, Rich, anytime. Thank you, my friend. I appreciate it.
Look for my call. It'll be happening again. That's Greg Cosell, at Greg Cosell on Twitter. I follow him. You should as well.